You know, people think living abroad is all sunshine, beaches, and good food. But what you don't see are the days you don't feel like yourself, the days your body fights you, and you just trying to keep your mind strong. After my stroke, coming back overseas wasn't about starting over. It was about not giving up. Every day ain't perfect, but I'm still here, still pushing, and still fighting. Jay and Sarah hit the road. What's up, fam? It's your boy Jay. For those who are new, I am the better half of the duo, Jay and Sarah, the couple who left their condo in Midtown Atlanta to move to Da Nang, Vietnam, and we currently living in Pattaya, Thailand. Okay, I don't want to do too much talking because I know the reason why you guys clicked the video of knowing what happened, how I had a stroke at 37, and coming back abroad, what I have been dealing with. So let's get right to it. Okay, so I was traveling back to the United States in May. We're back to Atlanta in May for work. For those who don't know, I work for a company called Right at Home in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a furniture and showroom design center. And I do all the marketing and help with a lot of social media stuff. So I went back for the grand opening because the owner, he opened up a brand new showroom and design center. So it's beautiful. I'll show some B-roll so you guys can see. So if you're in the Atlanta area, you need to get some furniture, definitely holler at my man. But at the time, I was staying with the owner because I was there to help out with the marketing, social media material, just in general stuff to get the store up and running. And I also do IT too, so making sure the printers and software work, make sure everything worked perfect, right? I think this happened on a Wednesday. I get up to go to the gym. It's about 5 in the morning. The owner, the CEO, Lamar Biden, which is my big brother, he's the owner of the store. He a gym rat also, so we always get up early in the morning and go to the gym. Before I was working for the company, I was his personal trainer, so we, always work out together and get a good workout in. So that morning, I woke up and the whole left side of my body was completely numb. Well, I tell you, I got out of bed and I just, boom, hit the ground. And during that time, I had no idea. In my head, it didn't register that the left side of my body wasn't working. I literally army crawled my way back into the bed, laid back down like, maybe I'm just tired, I don't know. It's crazy to say that, but I had no idea what happened. I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. I don't know, just being a tough guy, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm like, I'm gonna be all right, I need some sleep. I think before, we can prep for the store to open, so we kind of working, 14, 16-hour days just getting everything together. So I wasn't really sleeping like that. And I just, come from Southeast Asia, so my sleep pattern was thrown off a little bit. So I wasn't all the way there yet. So I got back in bed and went to sleep. So I woke up, well, he came, knocked on the door, like, hey, you coming to the gym? I was like, nah, I'm gonna get some rest, man. I probably, take a day off or whatever like that. And by the time I woke back up, it was about maybe 8 o'clock, getting ready to go to work. And I just wasn't feeling good. I'm like, man, I'm gonna, take a day off or whatever and just get some rest 'cause I wasn't feeling good, right? So at this time too, Sarah is not with me in the U.S. So she's still in Vietnam. So I called her, let her know what was going on. And she was like, okay, that sounds kind of, weird or whatever. I told her everything and she, we prayed together and everything. But this goes on. It's funny to say it goes on because while I tell everybody I had a stroke and I waited 3 days before I went to the hospital, it's crazy, right? Nuts, right? So I'm just resting. I'm thinking I'm just tired. In my head, I'm just tired. I don't think I had anything going on, which is crazy. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm just a little asleep. I need to catch up with some rest. I've been traveling, all this stuff going on. So I had no idea what happened. Later on that day or whatever, I'm speaking to everybody about what's going on, and everybody like, that's kind of weird. I'm like, yeah, it is kind of weird. Of course it is. But I did not want to go to the hospital. I don't know why. You know how I mean, all right? Fellas, y'all know what I'm saying. Like, never want to go to the hospital. But as I'm getting older, though, I realized, like, hey, something go wrong, bring your butt to the hospital. So I take off, I think it was like 3 or 4 days. Yeah, I take off. It happened that Wednesday. And I went to work that Friday, like, I'm gonna go to work. I'm all right, I'm fine. So me going to work, like, everybody like, Jay, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm bumping into stuff like, I'm still kind of like thrown off a little bit. Like, I'm not myself, but I still could move around a little bit. I'm fighting through it the whole time, right? So I go to work. I'm trying to get everything. The left side of my body is not what's going on right now. Like it don't want to cooperate with nothing at all. Like, I'm walking. I'm walking with a little limp. I can't really grab nothing with my left hand. Like totally crazy. So I go to work. Everybody like, Jay, you're not yourself, man. You gotta go to the doctor. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the doctor. So I wind up going to the doctor, right? So I go to Grady Hospital. I called Sarah, of course, told her what was going on. You know, she prayed for me. She was worried sick about what's going on with me. So I made sure I told her what was going on. I contacted my parents, let them know what was going on also, who was freaking out also. My parents are in New Orleans. I'm originally from New Orleans, so, you know, I called them and they want to take a ride out to Atlanta to make sure I was good. But I was like, nah, y'all chill, you know, everything good. So I went to the doctor, went to the hospital, excuse me, and they ran some tests and did everything. Like they ran, you know, pretty much the same test like 50 times, you know. So I just was waiting and waiting and waiting, and they finally, you know, admitted me to the hospital and told me what happened. So what happened was, let me get this right. I don't want to. I had a carotid web, right, which formed in my neck, which is it's kind of like a shelf-like abnormality that happens in your carotid web. So it's like a shelf that grows on your neck, and it stops the blood flow from going to your brain, and it could trigger a stroke. It triggers clotting, and it, you know, could form a stroke. That's what happened to me. So it happened. It's very rare. It's like 1% of people that it happens to, and I was one of the lucky ones, you know. So it had nothing to do with my diet, lack of exercise, stress, or clogged arteries in general. So it's been a balance, you know, trying to figure out like why did this happen or whatever like that. But it happens to some people, you know. So after a whole bunch of testing, that's what they really figured out that's what it was. So they gave me an option. It was like, yo, we could take some medicine and see how you're gonna do. And my whole time I'm like, yo, I don't live here, yo. I gotta get back overseas, you know. And they're like, nah, you gotta sit down and see what's going on, right? So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I wound up getting a stent put in because they kind of like, you know, ran me through the procedures of like how to fix what's going on. And it was like, okay, they had to run a stent through my groin area all the way up to my neck to open up the carotid web and fix me. So I stayed in the hospital for maybe a week. I think it was maybe 5 days, 5 days up to a week, something like that. And I was in ICU and all this stuff. Like it was crazy. I was not you know, expecting it at all. And during that time, I felt okay until it was able for me to do stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I still, you know, in recovery mode a little bit. So I talked to the doctor after the procedure. I let him know like, hey, I don't live here. I'm going back to Vietnam, and it was like, maybe you should wait another 2 weeks or whatever. Which I was at the end of my stay already, so I was like, I was ready to come back. When you live abroad, I think we lived abroad for maybe at that time maybe a year. So being you know, being away from Vietnam for a while, being in America was definitely different. You know, the challenges you face. Like we're so used to being in Vietnam of the everything, you know, a reasonable price and everything pretty cheap. And going back to the States and spending $100 on Uber and all this other stuff was crazy, you know. But I was ready to go back. So when the doctor told me I had to wait 2 weeks, I was like, I didn't want to hear that at all. I'm like, can I fly? That was my main question. I was like, can I fly? Can I get on a plane? They're like, yeah, you can get on the plane. It's not a problem, but I prefer like, you know, you get up and move around and keep your blood going. They gave me some medicine like blood thinners, like pressure pills just to make sure the blood flowing real good, which was cool. You know, I took my medicine while I was there, and while I got back to Vietnam, I had to stay on my medicine for 90 days. I had to stay on that, and then I had to do a checkup. They called me about a checkup, like, but I was like, I'm not going back to America for a checkup, so I told them I'd do it in Bangkok, which I did do it in Bangkok, which was, you know, everything tested out good. So hallelujah, thank Jesus, I'm good, you know. I'll say that my biggest challenge for me coming back was the therapy, starting over, everything slow, taking the weight down when I'm working out, just getting back into the swing of me doing the everyday activity things. Like even getting out the hospital, I think the first thing getting out the hospital, me buttoned up my shirt, tying my shoe, like getting ready, walking like outside, all that was a challenge for me. And I had to really learn how to do all that stuff over again. Even when it come to talking, like that was very difficult of Like, I don't know, it was just kind of hard of me getting back into the swing of doing everything. I was kind of just like, oh man, I'm not myself. I felt like I was 50%. You never realize how much you use your left side for so much. You know, even now, like I'm not, I can still do things, but I still work my hand a little bit more because I try to get my strength, stronger than what it was before. So we're just coming along pretty good. Just want to make sure I'm being the best version of myself, which was kind of tough. It really was. Like, it kind of made me didn't want to do it no more. It's like, oh man, I can't, I'm not myself. It's so much. I think the enemy will play with you a little bit to get in your head of like, oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And it was just real tough for me. So I just really been taking every day, day by day. I've been practicing, I've been doing therapy, just living day by day for real. Still enjoying life, but and there's a lot of fear that comes along with that, especially with family and friends. Of I telling people that when I told people I was coming back overseas, they were like, "What? Why would you do that? Like, what if something happened again? What if you have a stroke again? Or what if you have issues? Like, how you will get back to the States?" And people don't know it's great healthcare all over the world. I went to the hospital in Bangkok. It was just as good as the States, if not better. So definitely been a lot off me when it comes to worrying about certain things. But I never really worried myself. I'm like, if whatever gonna happen is gonna happen. So never really was really a worrier like that. So my family was definitely, but no, it does. We good. So what's next for me on this journey, right? So in general, I love health and fitness, and I love content creating. So when I lost 150 pounds, I didn't have a chance. I didn't share that with the world. So definitely this time I want to share my fitness journey with you guys. We have over 6,000 subs now, so thank you for everybody who subbed to the channel. And if you're not a sub, definitely hit the like and the subscribe button. And I definitely want to share more with you guys of my journey back to where I was at. So, and also want to have an accountability group for anybody out there who's looking for fitness advice or just want to be healthier physically and mentally. I'm having an accountability group. I'll put the code over here on WhatsApp. So if you guys want to join the accountability group, definitely sign up. I don't mind sharing what's going on in my life right now when it comes to fitness and working out and just sharing, in general what's going on, like what I eat every day, my gym workouts. So that's it. It's getting a little dark right now and it's starting to rain. So but to sign out, hope you guys enjoy the video. And I appreciate you guys for stopping in and just rocking with me. So truly appreciate it. Love you guys and y'all be cool. Peace.